Krishna Jai Srila Prabhupada, text 2.41. Yavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushakha hi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Vyavasaya atmika means resolute Krishna consciousness, or that buddhi which helps us become resolute in Krishna consciousness. That is called Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi. And one who has Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi, what happens? Ekeha, their goal is one. Kurunandana, O Arjuna, O beloved child of the Kurus, one who has got Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi, their focus is one. In Srimad Bhagavatam also, in the prayers that we read last week, Tasmad ekena manasa bhagavan sattvatam patihi shrotavyaha kirtitavyascha dhyayaha pujyascha nityada. With one pointed focus, with one pointed attention, one should render devotional service to the Lord, who is the master of his pure devotees. Bhagavan sattvatam patihi. So one who has Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, resolute purpose, resolute intelligence, his aim is one. And Krishna is drawing a contrast. But what happens to those who are not Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, who don't have this? Avyavasayinam, Buddhayaha Avyavasayinam, for them their aim is manifold. Bahushakha hi anantascha. Their resolution or their intelligence is placed in many paths. So last verse talked about how this path of Buddhi Yoga, even if you do little, it will give you eternal benefit. And how you can do this consistently in a focused way? By acquiring this Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So this verse is actually a formula to understand whether one has Vyavasayatmika Buddhi or not. How do we find out? Whether their goal is Ekeha. Whether their primary goal in life is to progress in Krishna consciousness or not. Whether they are traveling on multiple boats. Are they investing their primary, are they working towards their primary goal as Krishna consciousness? Or they still have other interests, including worshipping demigods, including fruitive activities, including career goals, including learning some material things for advancing their materialistic life, including obligations of social relations, friend circles, family bondages. If they are traveling on multiple boats, that means that Vyavasayatmika Buddhi has not come about. This is a test one can apply for themselves. We don't need to tell. It can be applied for themselves. Do I have Vyavasayatmika Buddhi or not? Is my interest solely and wholly Ekeha, only in progressing towards Krishna consciousness? Of course, we should not take it to the extreme and say, you should not have a career, you should not have a family, you should not have a sense of nationality, you should not respect demigods, nothing like that. You should only do as much as it is required, because this body is also required to be maintained in this material world. Labho jiveta yavata. Kamasya nendriya pritir labho jiveta yavata. Only as much as it is required. Not with a view of enhancing the material body itself, but with a view of maintaining it. And a devotee also, sometimes you will see, he may do something academically to acquire a degree or to progress in his career. But the aim is using that you want to preach or you want to progress. You want to set an example. So if your aim, if your service, if you are authorized to do all that, yes, you can do all that. It is not as if you don't have Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So one should understand in a proper context. One should not write anyone down by saying, hey, look at this, he's not got Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. He's reposing his faith on everything else, not just in Krishna. So that does not mean what meets the eye is what is reality. One should scratch the surface, go deep and understand. What is his motive? What is his consciousness like? What are his activities? What is his inner goal? That determines the Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, not just the apparent activity that the person performs. So that's why Prabhupada says, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Ko Hai Sudrudha Nischay. The Vyavasayatmika Buddhi comes in one who has got that strong faith that just by surrendering to Krishna, rendering service as ordained by Krishna, Krishna's representative, the whole life's perfection is there. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Ko Hai Sudrudha Nischay. Drudha Nischaya has to be there. That Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Dharma Kruta Hoy. Just by rendering service to Krishna, everything, the whole perfection of life is there. So that is explained here in the purport as watering the root of the tree. Everything is automatically happening. Yadha taror mula nisechanena trupyanti tat skanda bhujopashakha. Mula means roots. By serving the root, by watering the root, all other parts and parcels of the tree are automatically served. Tadarhanam achyutejya. By achyuta ijya, by worship of achyuta, everything, everyone, all obligations are satisfied. But what if one has not come to that point of Shraddha? So if you have that Shraddha, strong faith, then one can engage in this Buddhi Yoga, Krishna consciousness, watering the root. But what if one has not come to that point? Then one has to develop that faith gradually to come to that point. Yesterday, when I went to Stanford for our weekly satsang program, one student asked this question. Prabhu, we talk about from these books, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, when we talk about love of God, I mean, being unconditional, being freed from material attachments, it seems like so fancy to me. It seems like so inconceivable to me. I am somewhere at the base level. I cannot even imagine how God looks. Is God a reality? I am being asked to serve Him, love Him, without even knowing Him, without even seeing Him. Somehow it is difficult for me to conceive or connect. How do I understand all this? So, what to speak of going to strong faith that just by serving Krishna everything is satisfied. Many people, even though they are interested in spirituality, they are struggling to come to that point of faith that Krishna is a reality and serving, what to speak of going past that stage. Rupa Goswami says the first step, if you have to progress in this path of love of God, is to cross that hurdle of faith. Adav Shraddha. Then Tatah Sadhu Sangha. Associate with devotees. So now that faith can be even as little as accepting the fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even this person who is asking, he has got faith. Otherwise, he wouldn't be regularly attending these classes. But he has not got that firm faith. Once you got that firm faith, you will never doubt. Of course, you will not taste the love of God initially. You will taste only the glimpse of love of God while chanting, or while doing kirtan, or while reading, or while getting realization. In many, many aspects of Krishna consciousness, one gets that glimpse. Oh yes, Krishna is a reality. This process works. This is making me purified. This is making me blissful. And then one keeps going with that taste. So one has to continue. The only way one can gain faith is by continuing to be in Krishna consciousness. When that Sukruti becomes strong, when we accumulate enough Sukruti, then that faith becomes strong. And when the faith becomes strong, we keep accumulating more Sukruti by hearing, chanting. And then the faith, it is a cycle. One thing feeds the other. And in all this, there is association of devotees very important. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hrid karna rasayana katha tadjoshanad asu apavarga vartmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishayati. So to get the Shraddha which leads to Rati. Rati means attraction to the Supreme Lord. The Rati will come before love, before the pure Bhakti. Shraddha, Rati, Bhakti. So if you have to get that Shraddha, one has to associate with devotees. Prabhupada said, how you become a pure devotee, pure lover of God? By associating with other lovers of God. Just like a drunkard, how he became an expert drunkard? By associating with other drunkards. So the association is very important, which feeds your faith. And that faith again feeds into more association and hearing. So by this cycle, then the faith becomes strong. And then we come to the point that Krishna, yes, is a reality. I can feel that exchange. I can feel that glimpses of this bliss. Yes, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe is correct. Watering the root is correct. So when we explain this concept, watering the root, it's very difficult for a neophyte or a layman to understand. Okay, that may be true for a tree, but how can that be true? How can you draw that as an analogy in serving God? So we can explain them on two levels. One is on the authority of scripture and the saintly persons. The scripture is saying, the scripture cannot be faulty. The authorities, the saintly authorities are confirming. The saintly authorities are known for their highest character, pure character, by looking at their lives. So we can take it from them. And if one cannot accept that authority, one can understand on a logical platform. How by watering the root, everything becomes satisfied. Let's take the example of a family. In a family, if a family has to be peaceful, there cannot be multiple bosses. If everybody is a boss in the family, then that family will be chaotic. If there is only one head, everyone listens to one person, one order is abided in the family, then that family is peaceful family. When you serve your father, for example, father is the head. When you serve the father, it is not that you are serving only the father. So we should not make the mistake, serving Krishna means we are not serving anyone else. That is very narrow-mindedness. Serving Krishna means serving everyone else. How? When you obey the order of the Father, that means when you are serving the Father, which eventually equates to obeying the order of the Father, the Father will tell you to serve your brother, serve your mother, serve your siblings. When there is a conflict, the father may say, okay, let him have that piece of cake. Why don't you go get him that? Why don't you go give him this? That means we are serving the father and we are serving everyone else. Because the father knows how everyone has to be satisfied. So we should not make the mistake that, serving Krishna means serving Krishna to the exclusion of serving everyone else. No. Serving Krishna includes serving everyone else. If Krishna or his pure representative asks us to serve the poor people by feeding the food, yes, we are ready. We are serving. If Krishna, the pure devotee, the Krishna's representative, asks us to serve the people by distributing knowledge, yes, we are ready. If he asks us to serve people by opening a temple, yes, we are ready. If he asks us to serve people by first purifying ourselves, yes, we are ready. We chant 16 rounds every day, follow regulative principles, do arati, do worship, wake up early. Why? Krishna is making us purified in order to get ready to serve others. We have to be immune in order to go into the crowd. We have to take the antiseptic, become purified. So Krishna knows best how to serve everyone. And by obeying and abiding by the order of Krishna, by being in Krishna consciousness, by serving Krishna like that, we serve everyone. So that is how we should understand. So here, Hare Krishna, can everyone please be on mute? Okay, let me mute this person. Okay, now they've gone on mute. Thank you. So the other point mentioned here is this resolute purpose in serving Krishna is attained through knowledge. So let's read that statement, very profound statement. The resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge, by which one comes to know perfectly that Vasudeva or Krishna is the root of all manifested causes. So one might have a doubt here. So usually we say bhakti means freed from gnana and karma. Then why is it being said here that in order to become a staunch bhakta, strong faith, the knowledge precedes bhakti? How do we understand this? So that means, do I first need to cultivate knowledge before I become a bhakta? So what we should understand is, in bhakti, it is not that there is no gnana. Bhakti includes gnana. When you render bhakti, when we say in the morning Guru Puja prayers, Chakshudan Dilojai, Janme Janme Prabhushai, Divya Gnan Hriday Prakasita. Divya Gnan, we are telling the spiritual master, you have opened my darkened eyes with the torch of knowledge. How that the difference is, in bhakti the knowledge is inbuilt. Whereas in the path of gnana, you are cultivating knowledge separate from bhakti. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Asu Vairagyam Gnanam Chayadahaitukam. By performing bhakti, gnana is automatically there. One doesn't have to search separately. But that doesn't also mean that one should not read books. oh, just by doing bhakti we get knowledge. I'll just serve Krishna. I'll just serve Prabhupada. I don't read his books. Because that is path of gnana. No. Why? Because serving Prabhupada includes reading his books. Because that is his order. You read my books every day for 1 hour. So if we don't abide by his order, that is not bhakti also. So bhakti includes reading his books. And one should not be also mistaken that I am getting gnana only by reading books. Gnana is always revealed in the heart by the spiritual master as a result of our sincere service, including reading books. So getting our gnana is not a result of our understanding from the book. Our gnana is a result of our revelation in the heart by the spiritual master as a result of following everything, including reading books. So we should be very clear on that front. So when we get this gnana more, by following all the regulations given by the spiritual master, we become more resolute in Krishna consciousness. And finally, Prabhupada says, this is best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. So again here we should not misunderstand that, how can a spiritual master guide when he is not physically present? So one can get doubtful. So how can Prabhupada guide me when he is not observing me? So if you see, even in those days, let's take the examples of when Prabhupada was physically present. Prabhupada never, of course, in the initial days, yes, when he had all the time to train his disciples in a very, very extensive way, personal way. But as time progressed, he disconnected. He did not physically involve. He trained his senior disciples. He established a system in his institution to assign services, to dedicate, to allocate authority so that they can take the call how to engage a particular person in the service. Because Prabhupada has authorized the system, transcendentally it works out. Because Prabhupada has authorized it. Because it is a wish of the Lord. So through the system he set up, the system happens. The guidance of a spiritual master happens through the authority system, through the institution. And the student or the disciple, prospective student, is guided in Krishna consciousness. So when we follow the authority in the system, then one is following the authority and obeying the representative of Krishna. Yasya prasadad bhagavat prasado. When the spiritual master is thus satisfied, then Krishna is satisfied. Otherwise, there is no chance. So that Guru Ashtakam, the last verse, we should chant that. We should all remember actually that Mangalarati Guru Ashtakam. Beautiful prayers sung by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Especially the last one. Important point is, if you want to please Krishna, please the spiritual master. Otherwise there is no scope. So I should Dhyayan stuvam stasya yashastri sandhyam vande guru sri charanaravindam. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. I'll stop here. Any other questions, comments on what we discussed?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So I have a question. So in the previous verse, Krishna said that even if one does like little bit of advancement on this path, then he can be protected from the greatest danger. And in this verse, Krishna says that he should be determined. He should with one point attention, you should be focused on this path. So Prabhu, like for people who are just like doing little bit of advancement, there is no scope of progress for them, Prabhu?
No, that is not the intent. Krishna's intent in 40th verse is to encourage everyone to progress, whatever they can. But in this verse, Krishna is saying his observation that for those who have Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, their aim is only one, Arjuna. So this is a gradual progression. So that should not be taken as a discouragement, but rather it is an encouragement. So whatever one can do, that will go towards their quota, and Krishna will make more arrangements for them to gradually progress. So one has to do whatever they can, the best they can, even if it is little.
Because few people, right, like they do chanting plus they do all the other ritualistic worship also. So for them, like I've been, and with my experience, I've seen like even years before they are not able to come to a resolute determination of Krishna consciousness. So
yeah, so they should continue to apply that 40th verse, do little by little, until they get that bank of Agnata Sukruti, that Sukruti come to a particular level, that faith, that Vyavasayatmika Buddhi does not come. So we should continue to push them to keep accumulating that faith, to keep accumulating that Sukruti rather, so that at least one point their Avyavasayatmika Buddhi will graduate to Vyavasayatmika Buddhi.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, Sri Balaram holds instrument in his hand that is called like for plowing. That has a significance, right, Prabhu? The mind plowing or something.
Yeah. So the plow in Balaram's hands, it is basically, Balaram is like Guru Tattva. He is cleansing our heart. He is making our ground prepared so that Krishna can be seated properly. He is taking out all the impurities. He is making the land in our heart properly cultivated for Krishna consciousness. So that is a significance of the plow. Is that clear, Mataji? Thank you, Mataji. Any other questions?